To get into this week, we will go into
fourth down and 20.
Fourth and 21,
really not the way you want to try to extend it.
Especially, I know you enjoy it. I love just talking about it.
Hey, did you see the Braves re-signed Ha-Seong Kim?
We do.
Your prayers have been answered, Jake.
Jake was mad that we did it, and we got him back.
Look at that.
Yeah.
He's back, baby. The Braves are back.
I don't know.
The Braves are back.
We'll
what do you got for us, Chris?
All right, guys. Well, you must have been reading my mind because my first question, I want to talk about Brady and Mahomes for a minute. So they both suffered ACL injuries in their 9th season.
Mm-hmm. One was at the beginning and one was at the end.
But his 9th season. Both players had it happen in the season following a Super Bowl loss.
It's pretty crazy.
Both players had already won 3 Super Bowls prior to the injury.
Yep.
Are you punting or going for it, or Mahomes coming back without skipping a beat? And Dawson, you just alluded to it, and I think that's really the biggest difference when you look at quarterbacks and injuries, how they play the game. You might have already answered it, but anything more to say on that as far as what this is really going to do in terms of that GOAT conversation?
That's truly what I think is going to be the hardest part for Mahomes, because now all of a sudden
he's going to have to change his game a little bit.
Now all of a sudden you're going to not be able to do things that you were used to just doing and not having to think about it.
Well, you saw the comments that Brady made about, his experience after the ACL surgery. He said, you are not going to feel comfortable for like 8 to 9 months straight. Everything is going to hurt. It's going to feel like you're doing the wrong thing. But you just have to push through it. And he said, I think one of the hardest things he's ever had to go through, and the hardest recoveries he's ever had to go through. So this is an uphill battle for not only the Chiefs, but Mahomes. And I don't think that he's going to start off the year healthy next year. I think
I can imagine how he could be fully healthy to start.
Can't.
And like I said, it's just you're going the way you play the game, the way you scramble,
he's physical. He's a physical quarterback.
It's just you're going to have to change how you play the game. And if anyone says otherwise, you haven't watched him play compared to the Mahomes,
especially this year.
Especially this year.
He was their leading rusher.
Yeah.
That says all I need to know.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's going to look a lot different, and that could be very hard for him to all of a sudden, hey, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. Now you can't. Now you're going to have to evolve your own game the same way. And that to me also proves your greatness with Brady. He was able to play till he was 45. He was able to do things with his body and protect his body, and the longevity of him playing that long, not just playing, but playing at a very, very high level.
Oh, yeah.
So Mahomes, you're going to have to evolve. You're going to have to look at your game and go, okay, what can I do? How can I change this? How can I just all these different things that most people aren't just taking into consideration, and it's going to look different, and it's going to come down to Mahomes if he's willing to change that, if he's willing to evolve his game, and only time will tell, and we'll see.
Do you think the narrative changes from Chiefs fans complaining about the refs saying that's the reason they lost to just bringing up that if Mahomes was healthy we would have won?
Well, that's why
it's probably true.
That's why I keep on saying, that too. And that's why I'm also saying Brady got hurt in the first quarter of the first game of week 1 when he tore his ACL.
I will say, though, it will speak volumes to the surrounding cast, because the year that Brady tore his ACL, they went 11-5, right? But they missed the playoffs.
Yes.
They were still a really good team.
Yeah, that's when they brought in Garoppolo.
No. That was way before.
Castle.
Yeah, Matt Castle.
Yeah. And that was when they said it's the system, it's this, because he stepped in and did pretty well that season.
I do quite honestly think there's a scenario here where it honestly benefits Mahomes if the Chiefs are like a 4-win team next season. It's going to be largely the same unit. You're going to look at it and be like, wow. I mean, he really was having to do a lot of this shit on his own. But I can't imagine that, because the Chiefs have the good coaching. They've got the good culture. They've got I would like to say they've got a lot of good players on that team. We'll see next year.
We'll see if it is the culture and if it is the coaching, or if it truly just was Mahomes.
Yeah, which I think this definitely could end up working in Mahomes' favor a little bit. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. The other part that I also think most people aren't talking about is I think Mahomes is going to have to restructure his contract one way or another.
Oh my God,
The same way Brady did for all those years, to still have the talent around him.
100%.
He's going to have to make a choice and go, look, if I want to win championships, if I want to make the most out of these next 10 years, or however long I plan on playing, he's going to have to make some of those hard decisions, because the money will come.
He's got the money.
He's got the money. And you don't need the money from your NFL contract, in my opinion. And the same way Brady kind of viewed that.
He's got endorsement
I've heard
deals.
Brady say multiple times of if you play good on the field, the money will come after.
Oh, yeah.
With everything.
Absolutely.
Look at J.J. Watt with TV. Tom Brady with TV.
Sponsorships, endorsements.
Everything. If you play good while you're a current NFL player and you retire and all these things, the money will come after. And if you truly are about winning championships and you want to make the best, you're going to need to do something with that contract. Oh, yeah. That's the other little nugget
I agree.
know people aren't talking about as well.
Okay, so sticking with injuries, there's a lot of chatter online saying this is such a bad season, all these major injuries. What's going on?
It's on
the
par with
reality
the
is
last
this: there's we're less injuries than normal.
We are.
The difference is it's all big names, right? I mean, Mahomes obviously, Eckler, Najee Harris, Neighbors, Bosa, Kraft, Penix,
Did have a lot.
Parsons, Tyreek, Fred Warner, Scattaboo. I mean, I want to know of all those injuries, or even ones that I didn't even talk about, which of these do you think will affect the league as a whole or their team the most?
So I do think it already has. I think the NFL came out and said that they are taking control out of the team's hands when it comes to deciding the kind of field that they have. So I think they are similar to helmets. They are approving a set list of fields between, regular grass and artificial turf that are considered safe. I don't know if it will matter in the end. I do think still, when you play on turf, you're just infinitely more likely to have an injury than on regular grass, but it already has. I think the NFL is finally starting to pay attention.
But even like Micah Parsons, they were playing on grass.
That's true.
Planted his foot, tore his ACL. So
it's very true.
But could it be the switching between the different surfaces?
That too.
Yeah,
maybe. That too.
Maybe.
And who's to say that they weren't practicing on a turf field while they were, because they weren't at their facility before they got to Denver. So it just sucks seeing this many injuries, and it does feel like it's been a lot more big names than normal.
It does.
There
happen.
Always are a few, but
it does happen though every year though. I think to where you're just hoping that it's not one of your players on your team, or whether that's fantasy or Jake was saying that half of his in all 4 of his leagues, his first round pick all was out for half or more than the year.
It sucks.
So it's just stuff like that to where you just never know, and you just hope it's not one of your guys.
God, I forgot about how nasty Tyreek Hill's injury was.
Yeah. There were some bad ones.
There have been.
But to go to your question of who's going to have the most what's the word you use, the most impact for a big injury this year? It's got to be Mahomes.
Either that or Parsons.
Of what that's going to set up for the Chiefs for the next, so many years. And I even think, Parsons, because of how much they're paying him and how
strapped they are. No draft picks, really.
They put a lot of marbles in that basket. So
think about the Colts, too.
The Colts as well.
With Sauce Gardner.
With Daniel Jones. They gave 2 first rounders for Sauce to really make a playoff push. And now all of a sudden they're not going to make the playoffs because the quarterback got hurt.
They may not pay Daniel Jones now either because he's not going to be healthy.
That's actually a great one. That Daniel Jones injury was a very significant to them trading 2 first picks for Sauce and just everything going all in this year. Yeah, that's a big one too.
It is a big one.
Well, breaking news though. So Roger Goodell just took a page out of CFP's playbook. He decided that he wants the Chiefs and he's making Mahomes play in the playoffs for TV money. So, So speaking of college football playoffs, so first round games are this weekend.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
So do you think any of these first round teams, of all the teams that are playing, do you think any of them can win the whole thing?
So the game that entices me the most, because we're doing our bracket, obviously we posted we were going to post the graphic. Everyone's picking Colin.
I got to make my picks.
All of them. So the most interesting game when I was going through and picking, my first couple games is the
Ole Miss game?
No, not the Ole Miss game. It is the Texas A&M
Miami
game.
Yeah.
I think that game could be the most entertaining because I think JMU, Oregon's going to kill them. I think Alabama, Oklahoma could also be entertaining, but I don't think it's going to be very high scoring because Alabama's offense is really not that good. No. And Oklahoma has had some offensive struggles too, where they have a good defense.
I think either one of those teams loses in the second round. Whoever wins.
Yeah, so I think that game will be very low scoring. But the game that really entices me the most is the Texas A&M Miami game.
I actually think Miami wins that.
I do. I'm leaning towards more towards Miami just because I really like. I think the attitude that they're going to bring into that game. Of trying to hey, we deserved this spot. Mm-hmm. We've been over Notre Dame and all the talk and everything like that. But that's the game that I have circled where out of the first couples, I think for the most part, it's going to be really easy. And it's just going to be that makes sense that team won. I think the Texas A&M Miami game is going to be a really good game.
So do you think the national champion will come from any of these games, or is it one of the four waiting with their bye?
I think
we said it a few weeks ago, they got the top 4 right. Those are the 4 best teams in college football.
I think it's either going to be Indiana, Georgia, or Ohio State.
Probably.
Those are the 3 best teams in the country when it comes to coaching. And there might be a cool story, if Ole Miss wins, that will just be a cool story because of everything that's happened with their coach and Lane Kiffin and all that. The most entertaining game, though, like I just said,
Miami.
That Texas A&M game, I think is going to be a really fun game to watch.
I think it'll be fun.
So Division I FCS football has been doing the playoffs for a long, long time. They've got it figured out, right? They bring in enough teams, 24 teams, all of this. I get it's not quite the same. However, the championship is at Vanderbilt. It's in Nashville. Dawson, as you mentioned, the Grizz are playing the Bobcats. This is their 125th meeting of all time.
My God.
Never met in the postseason, right? So you've seen them play the last few weeks. How do you think they're going to do? Are we going to be going to the Natty in Nashville?
Well,
honestly,
we talked about it when we first started talking about Montana. Was when they originally played Montana State for the last game of the season.
They did lose,
and
this
the only
matchup.
reason they lost is I think because of that pick 6. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And it ultimately they lost by what 4 or 3 points.
It wasn't very many.
It wasn't very many, and
That was the
deciding fact of a huge game like that. You just can't turn over the ball.
Yep.
So I think if you play clean, you run the ball. They've got some really good weapons. I know Montana State also has a good team, and they've got a good quarterback. But I think Montana's quarterback is really good. What's his name? Number 6 on Montana. I can't remember his name right now.
Wharton.
Wharton. He's the guy.
He should go to the NFL.
He almost had 300 scrimmage yards when it comes to kick return, rushing,
He's
receiving.
averaging almost 300 on the season.
What about my guy running rabbit?
No, he's
a bench guy.
Damn it!
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch the game this weekend. So
no, I'm looking forward to it.
Do you think we're gonna go to the Natty?
If you can run the ball. You play good defense because I think they play really, really good team defense. You don't turn over the ball like you did the first time they played. I'm gonna say they'll take it, but all of a sudden, and you've got to score touchdowns because
who's on the other side of the bracket?
It doesn't matter.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. Whoever wins this game is
North
probably
Dakota is out,
really?
so it really doesn't matter. Yeah. This should be the championship.
This is whoever gets out of this game is going to win the whole thing. The other thing that I will say in their first game when they played. Not South Dakota. Was it North Dakota? The Jackrabbits.
Yeah.
There were a couple. They had a couple red zone trips where they didn't score touchdowns, and they had to kick a field goal. You've got to score touchdowns when you're in the red zone.
I agree.
You have to. So score touchdowns in the red zone. Do not turn over the ball. If you do, just do not give them short field and play your good swarming, team defense. And I think there's a good chance that you can take this one.
Okay. Well, tickets are about $250 a piece. We're going to be going. Jake, you want to go? Yeah? Yeah, we're going. Absolutely. It's on a Monday night. Okay, here we go. So Avatar, the 3rd installment, comes out this week.
Friday, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
so
Friday.
I went back and watched, the first 2 movies to just catch up. Rumor has it.
How was that 8-hour journey?
Yeah, exactly. It was about 7 hours. So rumor has it that they're playing the new Avengers trailer. For the next 4 weeks, different trailers.
It got leaked
They're going to switch it out each week. So are you guys going to Avatar 4 times in the theaters?
So the first one already got leaked online.
They're all going to get leaked.
I'll send it to you after this. It wasn't much. It was, a blip. Steve Rogers has a son, or at least a kid.
Of the life he made after he returned the Infinity Stones and stayed with Peggy Carter.
So let's spin this because I know Avatar. I am looking forward to Avatar, but we talked about it last week as well. I think it's going to be the best one that came out. But the plot hole that they have now opened up with Endgame is who the fuck was old man Steve Rogers at the end of Endgame when he came back? If Doom is now after Captain America, in the past.
I see. This is me and Jake were talking about this.
Like what?
It's a great question. Me and Jake were talking. I personally don't see the plot. Like unless
I think that's a good thing though.
and it could be in it, but I'm viewing it as in I saw someone say it's like a legacy reboot, to where like you have all these characters that they tried to get you to care about. No one did, and now all of a sudden you have to bring back the two characters that people cared about the most when it came to Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, but they're like different. I don't know. I seriously don't know what to think. I don't
either.
I don't know, and
I
I
want
know
you to forget.
I know the Russo brothers. People are saying, "Well, I trust them," and I do to a certain extent. They've done some good things, especially in the Marvel world. They've also done some really bad things in other worlds. But I had this conversation with Jake, and I just was like, I don't know where do you, is he a part of the whole movie? Is he just like a cameo for this first like half, and then he's gonna die, and idea. Doctor Doom's gonna where does this go? And I even think the other ones.
Why do you want to know? That's why
I think it's a good thing that
it's not that I want to know. It's just I'm confused to the point. Like now they're saying it's literally like a direct it's a direct right after Endgame, where it's like, well, what about all the other fucking movies that you guys tried to force down our throats for the past 6-7 years? I don't. Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So to answer your question, am I excited? Am I going to watch it because I love all those characters?
I think we're just confused about the path they're taking. But I do think it could be a good thing. I'm going to go into that movie not knowing what the hell to expect, and I'm going to be very surprised. Well, hopefully.
And the other thing that I brought up to Jake, I said, because the new Spider-Man movie comes out before this
trailer got leaked for that.
I saw that as well. And then people are saying, well, Spider-Man's not going to be in it and this and that. And it's just, if he's not in it, I think that's stupid. And how is that Spider-Man movie going to tie into this when it's a direct, like the timeline is just so fucked, if I do say so. Yeah. They've really, I mean, to the multiverse and just to everything, and to Loki with what he, kind of stands for now after season 3 of his show. I don't know where I don't know. There's no structure. It's like college football. It's just whatever the fuck they want to do, they're throwing it out there.
I do think, maybe they needed to take a page out of DC's book and just,
completely reboot the whole thing.
Reboot it, new characters, new movies, new not origin stories, but yeah, we'll see if this works out. I mean, we've got this storyline at least until 2027, because that's when Secret Wars come out. And then I do think, because they are treating this kind of, I don't know, I've heard them say that it is kind of, these last two movies, the last two Avengers movies, are kind of a soft reboot, to where after Secret Wars, they're just going to reset the MCU timeline. And they do that. That's why they introduced Franklin, the baby, in Fantastic Four, because that is one of his, like, he does that, apparently.
That's why Galactus wanted, and that's probably why Doctor Doom wanted him in that post-game.
We'll see. There's a lot of cards at play for this movie, and I hope that Spider-Man is actually like meaningful towards it, and not just like hey, here's your favorite character while you wait. You sit on this for 6 months before Doomsday comes out. We'll see. I'm still looking forward to it, but I'm a little confused about where.
Well, and I'm also when all these 4 trailers come out, and we can kind of whatever type of setup they want to do with these 4 trailers, to kind of look at all of them and go, now if I had to guess, because of the one they did with Steve Rogers, I heard the next one's going to be Thor, and it's going to be Thor will return to Doomsday. So if that's the trend they're going on, then who are the other 2 people that they're like, is it going to be Black Widow returns after doing what they did to her?
They released the list.
It's Dr. Doom, and
it's Doom.
Ensemble.
Okay.
So then another question though: do you think they've already determined these 4, or
100%?
Or do you think they're waiting to see what everybody says, and then they're like going to throw you a curveball on the 4th one?
No,
they have a month to figure it out.
No, they're determined. They're predetermined. I bet.
Okay, so last thing here, just want to talk about baseball for a minute. I mean, the notifications have been going off like crazy for this last week.
MLB free agency.
A lot of free agency stuff in MLB. So, what are the biggest surprises so far for your guys' 2
I
teams?
thought my team hasn't really done anything yet, but I thought the Phillies re-signing Schwarber and then going and getting Adolis Garcia as well. The Phillies are trying to beat the Dodgers. Like they're really trying. They made some pitching moves as well. The Phillies are trying to load up.
I think
And
they
it's
just signed another pitcher like right now.
did they? Yeah.
Well, and their outfield has not been able to produce hits and runs.
Adolis Garcia is going to get you that.
But they've had very good outfielders defensive wise, and they've kind of just said that's what we'd rather have.
He's going to take Castellanos' spot. I think they let Castellanos walk, and did they have Bader, right? They traded for Bader from the Mets in like July. So. And I think he's still in team
Brad
control.
Keller. They're literally they just announced it 5 minutes ago.
The Phillies are trying to compete with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers. Let's just speak on them getting fucking. Oh my god! Yeah.
Whatever his
Edwin
Diaz. Song is.
Edwin Diaz.
Yeah. That when Jake sent me that, I was like, great.
Did you hear what he said?
Great.
He said, "Oh, it was an easy decision."
I'm sure it was.
Oh, okay. Hop on
that doesn't even count the other Japanese player who's coming overseas. The really good one.
So he said he would rather compete against the Dodgers, which thank
bullshit.
God. He did. He is, and he's doubled down on it a few times that he does not. He's not going to join the Dodgers. Doesn't matter though because
baseman, though.
Yeah, they don't really need him.
Their third baseman?
They have
Max Muncy.
No, they don't have. Oh, they do have. I think they do still have Max, but
there was one other guy too. Was it Hernandez or does he Kike Hernandez?
Kike is kind of a utility guy. Yeah. They've got a guy for everything, but I will say, enjoy it while it lasts because baseball is not going to have a 2028 season. They're going to lock out for almost the entire year. It's 27 or 28 when the CBA comes up. They're not going to be playing baseball that year, and they might not play baseball for like a year or two. It's going to take a long time because the players don't want a cap. And I think you might end up getting away with making a salary floor, which I think works better for baseball. But either way, it's going to go into months of negotiations and players being like, "Oh, what about this?"
So how much of the ownership and those people making those, how much do you think, like percentage-wise, want some type of cap? And how much do you think?
I would think all the owners all want a cap.
I would think they want.
I would think so. Control my expenses.
No, I think a floor would be the one. Like a floor would be where those cheap owners are like, "Fuck that." Like I make money anyways. I don't care about my team being competitive. Why am I forced to spend a certain amount every year to make sure I'm competitive?
Yeah, it's where
that's not my goal.
If you put a cap on it, then you can still spend the same of what you spend. There's exactly. You just can't go. I'm never going to go.
That's why it's going to take so long because the cheap owners don't want a floor. The rich owners don't want a cap, and they're just going to butt heads.
And then the players don't want.
The players don't want a cap.
Don't want a cap at all. Whether
and
that's
they could
a floor
care less
or
about a floor, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the lower tier players, I think, would want a floor because that ensures that some bigger deals get forked out. But no, this is not going to have a conclusion for a long time. It's going to be just. We're going to forget about baseball, I think. It's just going to be such a clusterfuck.
Why hasn't the NFLPA ever tried to do that same thing and get rid of a cap in the NFL?
I don't know.
Well, you'd all of a sudden create super teams.
That's true.
But that's what's going to happen in baseball.
There's a lot more. I would say there's a lot more players.
It's already happened. Look at the Dodgers. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's true.
And then they don't have to pay him for like 2090.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be it's messy.
You're going to pay their grandkids.
Oh, it's very messy. It's very messy, and baseball has been asking for this for a long time, and it's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lockout without a doubt in my mind, and it might take up the entire season. It's going to suck because the White Sox are just now getting good, or not good, but they have a lot of promise. It's not going to matter.
Yeah. That's it, guys. That's all I got.
Nice job.